What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Eric Gomez with Fulfilled Christian Counseling. I want to deal with something that, in its essential nature, is pretty difficult, and it's around the issue of making choices in terms of one's career. So I'm 43 years old. It's crazy even just saying that. Can't believe how fast time has gone in my lifetime. But I think that what I'm realizing at 43 is that there are a lot of other dudes, a lot of the guys dealing with similar things at this particular stage of life. One of those central things is what to do with themselves in their career. It's like they've been doing something for a long time, and in most cases, they're like super effective at doing it. But there comes a point in time when the job is no longer fulfilling. It's not doing what it used to for that individual. And they know that at a very deep level. And they know they want to see something different in their lives, right? But they're not always sure how to go about addressing that particular issue, that concern, or even that want, right? What do you do? How do you navigate something like this? Well, first of all, we have to just acknowledge that number one, making a change in one's career and the man right is not easy. Why? Because there's so much writing on it. It's not just you anymore, right? For most of us, it's that, when we were in our 20s, you could just make whatever changes you wanted to, and it was fine. Ramifications of those changes were somewhat minimal, right? But when you have like stock in your company, right? Or what I mean is, like, when you have put years of time into something, and you have a family, right? You got a wife and kids, and you're thinking about, what the hell do I do? I don't want to do what I'm doing now, but if I make a change, it's going to have a huge impact on everybody. Well, I think, first of all, what I would say is, like, let's not minimize any of that. Don't minimize any of those things. If you are dealing with internal thoughts or questions about what to do in your career, like, take it serious, man. Like, don't just be like, oh, I'm going to write that off and don't think about it. On the other hand, no, put some time into it. Think about it. Give yourself that freedom to, or the permission to, engage your heart, engage your mind, right? Really think it through again. Because probably in many cases, a lot of what you're dealing with at that level, probably God driven at some point. Maybe he's wanting you to make some changes that need to happen. But then again, a lot of guys don't know what to do about that, right? And they get lost, or they just end up frustrated, angry, depressed, whatever. I mean, all those emotional responses are important to consider too. But I think it's important, again, to treat what you're dealing with internally very seriously. And don't try to just navigate that alone. This is where I think guys they get stuck, is that they bottle everything. They keep everything inside, and they don't get help, or they don't consult with others. They don't talk. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is guys don't talk. They keep everything inside. They know they're dealing with a stress around work, or lots of stresses at work. They want to make changes. They just don't know how, which is okay, right? Because we don't have all the answers. I mean, as a singular individual, how many of us can say nobody can say we have all the answers to anything. We don't. But we can say that we have the capacity to open up, to articulate things that need to be articulated, to seek help from someone else, because we don't have to navigate this life alone. And I don't think we should try. I don't even think that's wise. I think wisdom would say, go get the information that you need. In fact, if you look at in scripture and you look at the book of Proverbs, right, what does it say kind of even at the beginning, right, about wisdom? You have to go get it, pursue it, seek it, as you would for silver or gold. Like, go get wisdom. Don't just sit down and lie on the ground and wallow. I mean, that's a bad strategy for sure. But go get wisdom, right? And you can't just get wisdom by doing nothing, right? So you have to make some choices around how you're going to get that information. And what I'm trying to say here is, like, to men in particular, is be open about what's going on. Find someone that you trust, or some others that you trust, and give yourself the permission to start talking about those things that are taking place in your heart. And don't feel bad about it. Guys have ego. They feel shame about, they're in this particular place in life, or they're not feeling good about where they're at. And if they tell another guy, hey, I'm struggling with something, or I'm not sure what to do, it's like, oh no, I can't do that. That's like an indication of weakness. It's like, well, is it really? Or is it more of an indication of strength? I think it takes courage. and strength to be open with someone else. Um, you're not, I mean, yeah, you're not, again, you're not just lying down on the ground, you're actually taking some steps. That's a powerful thing, man. So I'm always encouraged when guys are open about what they're going through. Again, it's not a weakness type issue at all. It's a drawing upon the self to engage an issue directly with someone else. That takes courage and that takes strength. So again, what are we saying here? We're saying, look, we get to points in life where we feel changes are needed. We don't always know how to navigate those changes. But then at that particular point, we have to ask, what are we going to do about that particular place that we're at? And what we're saying here is consult, get information, go seek wisdom or get help. Work to explore what you're experiencing, right? Versus trying to just think it through all in your own head or by bottling the emotions and the things that you feel. Rather be open about it with someone else and work it out, right? Get that wisdom, push against it a little bit, try to work with the information that you're getting in such a way that it helps you to really truly consider you and what it is that you really want to do next in life. There's nothing easy about what I'm saying. And it can be a complicated process at times because we're human, right? And we tend to inherently make things complicated, which is fine, we just do. But as part of the simplification of it all, we're saying, like, give yourself the time, the freedom, the permission to work through some of this stuff and believe and know and trust that God is going to help you to get to where you need to go. This can also be a difficult part, right? So Proverbs 3:5 says, what? Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Trusting in the Lord with something like our career, I mean, that can be tough. Because, maybe if you're like me, sometimes we want to make immediate changes and we're like, wait, I just need to do this right now. And here, let's go. Well, maybe we should not just do that sometimes. Maybe we need to slow ourselves down. Think about some things, reflect. And then as we are reflecting, give ourselves again that time to connect with someone else about some of that stuff so that we're getting it out of our system, but then we'll also be able to get information too that helps us to ultimately decide what to do next. And then we're adding to that, trusting that God is going to get you to where you need to go. And I think that's a big deal. We have to believe that at the end of the day, the Lord is going to help us to get to where we need to be, to accomplish all of the things that he's called us to. And to believe that the gifts and the abilities and the talents that he's provided to us are going to be able to be utilized well. But we can't settle. And I want to drive this point home to you before I close things out. Don't settle, man. Like, don't settle for where you're at in life. If you feel like it's not a good thing, let's say your work is affecting you emotionally or it's affecting your family life. Again, don't just override that stuff and pretend like it doesn't exist. No, that does exist. That happens a lot too. Families get wrecked because guys are just working too hard, or they're just always gone, or they're too stressed out and they're bottling stuff, or they're just, coping unhealthily, they're drinking or whatever, and things break down fast. So, don't settle. If you need to make a change, by all means, begin to allow yourself to make some of those changes and engage the process that we're talking about today about reflecting, exploring yourself, right? Talking to other people, getting wisdom, trusting the Lord, so you have the courage to decide what to do next or to move on to what's next. All of those things kind of come together at the end of the day, but we're trusting that God is going to help bring all those pieces together too. But don't settle. Don't settle for stuff that's not working for you, or that's not healthy for you emotionally, or that's not good for your family life. Don't settle for a career that's not ultimately good at the end of the day. And obviously, and I don't have to tell you guys this, but it's not just all about money either. If you just make all your choices on the basis of money, it's too superficial. Yeah, some company, some organization gives you a lot more money, but maybe they drive you to the ground as well. Well, how is that good? No. I think in many ways the changes that guys my age are making, it can be kind of a quest for meaning too, right? We're looking for something that's more meaningful than what we've been doing, or something that aligns to a greater degree with where we're at, psychologically or emotionally, maybe even spiritually. And it's okay. It's okay to be in that place, and it's okay to not have everything figured out. It's a good thing, because you're having to then trust the Lord with all of that stuff. So I've said a lot here, but I just bring it out to encourage you all, and to encourage men in particular, like, make changes. It's okay to make those changes in your career. It's not a small thing. Yes, there is a lot riding on the decisions that you make. And you obviously talk with your wives about those things. Um, don't actually unilaterally. I mean, they need to be brought into it too. And just know that if it's a God thing, I believe this wholeheartedly. If it's a God thing, like there will be marital alignment. Your spouse will align with you because they're also going to know that something needs to change, right? Because they'll be sensitive to it. They'll see what's happening inside of you. They'll recognize like, yeah, something's not good here. And then they can join with you when you're open about it with them. But you got to be open with them about it. You got to talk about those things again, so don't keep it inside. Said a lot today about making change as a guy as it relates to your career. Hope you'll think about some of these things a little bit more, after this brief video. But the idea is you can do it. You can do it, man, and the Lord will help you to do it. Your spouse can encourage you, and if you're open to be able to make those changes that are needed. So praying for you and just trusting that God will guide you at the end of the day. I wish you all the best. This is Eric Gomez, again, with Fulfilled Christian Counseling. If you want more information about any of this stuff, go to the website, which is www.fulfilledchristiancounseling.com. You just go to the contact page, and we can communicate at that point. All right, thanks you guys for listening to this and watching for a little bit. Take care. Bye-bye.